Have you ever been told that magnesium is the ultimate mineral for rebuilding muscle, relaxing your body, and supporting recovery, but somehow no matter how much you take, you still wake up sore, stiff, or exhausted? What if I told you that there are actually 2 vitamins that outperform magnesium when it comes to rebuilding muscle, restoring strength, and reigniting the power of your body's natural repair system? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what these vitamins are, why they're often overlooked, and how they can transform the way your body heals, rebuilds, and grows stronger, especially if you're over 40, struggling with slow recovery, or just can't seem to regain that youthful muscle tone. Let's be honest, most people think muscle recovery is all about protein shakes, electrolytes, or a good dose of magnesium before bed. And yes, magnesium plays a vital role in hundreds of enzymatic processes, including energy, metabolism, and muscle relaxation. But here's the hidden truth. Without these 2 specific vitamins, your body simply cannot use magnesium properly. It's like having all the building materials for a house, but no workers to actually put it together. These vitamins are the missing link between nutrition and real muscle recovery. And when you start giving your body what it's truly asking for, everything changes. Your workouts feel more effective. Your soreness fades faster. Even your sleep improves because your muscles aren't constantly in repair mode. The first vitamin we're going to talk about is often dismissed as just a bone vitamin, but its impact goes far beyond that. This is vitamin D, more specifically vitamin D3, the active form that your body uses to regulate calcium and phosphorus levels. But here's the part that most people miss. Vitamin D is essential for muscle fiber growth and repair. Your muscle cells actually have vitamin D receptors, and when those receptors are activated, they help your body synthesize new muscle proteins and enhance strength. Low vitamin D levels don't just weaken bones. They lead to muscle weakness, slower reflexes, poor coordination, and a higher risk of injury. That's why athletes who train indoors or live in colder climates often experience chronic fatigue or muscle pain. They're deficient and they don't even know it. Think about this when you work out. You create microscopic tears in your muscles. That's not a bad thing. It's the signal your body needs to start rebuilding stronger tissue, but that repair process depends on proper signaling between your hormones and your muscle fibers, and vitamin D plays a key role in that communication. It helps regulate testosterone, growth hormone, and insulin like growth factor, all of which are crucial for building and maintaining lean muscle. So if your vitamin D levels are low, your body might be trying to rebuild muscle with the brakes on. You're doing the work, but the results just aren't showing up. Here's where it gets even more interesting. Magnesium and vitamin D actually work together. Magnesium is needed to convert vitamin D into its active form, but if you're lacking vitamin D, your body struggles to absorb and utilize magnesium efficiently. That's why some people take magnesium supplements and still feel tired or sore. It's not the magnesium's fault. It's the missing vitamin D preventing it from doing its job. But vitamin D alone isn't the full story. There's another vitamin that works hand in hand with it and is just as critical for rebuilding muscle, especially as we age. This is vitamin K2. And no, it's not the same as vitamin K1, which is mostly involved in blood clotting. Vitamin K2 has a unique and powerful role in directing minerals to the right places in your body. It acts like a traffic controller, telling calcium, phosphorus, and other key nutrients to move into your bones and muscles instead of getting stuck in your arteries or soft tissues. When you pair vitamin D3 with vitamin K2, you unlock one of the most powerful nutritional synergies in human biology. Vitamin D boosts calcium absorption, but K2 decides where that calcium goes. Without K2, calcium can end up in the wrong places, causing stiffness, inflammation, or even calcification in muscle tissue and blood vessels. That's one reason some people feel worse when they start taking high-dose vitamin D without balancing it with K2. Their body can't handle the mineral load properly. But when you combine them in the right ratio, your body becomes a well-coordinated repair machine. Calcium gets directed into the muscle cells that need it. Enzymes are activated, and your muscles can contract and relax with better precision. Let's connect this to what really matters, how your body recovers after physical activity. Every time you move, whether it's lifting weights, gardening, climbing stairs, or just walking, your muscles rely on the energy producing mitochondria inside your cells. And both vitamin D and K2 directly support mitochondrial function. Vitamin D enhances oxygen utilization and ATP production, while K2 improves mitochondrial efficiency by protecting these tiny powerhouses from oxidative stress. Together, they don't just rebuild muscle tissue, they optimize your energy output at the cellular level. This combination also reduces inflammation, which is one of the biggest barriers to recovery. Chronic low-grade inflammation slows down protein synthesis, disrupts hormones, and keeps your muscles in a state of breakdown instead of repair. Vitamin K2, in particular, has been shown to lower levels of inflammatory markers and oxidative damage. It even helps maintain the elasticity of blood vessels, ensuring that nutrients and oxygen can reach your muscles faster after exercise. Think of it as clearing traffic so your repair materials can get to the construction site on time. Here's another reason these vitamins outperform magnesium. They don't just support relaxation. They rebuild structure. Magnesium is like the maintenance crew. It keeps things running smoothly. But vitamins D3 and K2 are the architects and engineers. They rebuild the foundation, strengthen the framework, and make your muscles more resilient against future strain. That's why people who correct their deficiencies often notice changes that go beyond muscle recovery. Their posture improves, their energy stabilizes, even their mood and motivation rise, because vitamin D directly affects serotonin and dopamine pathways in the brain. Let's talk about dosage and absorption for a moment, because this is where most people go wrong. You could be taking vitamin D, but if you're not absorbing it properly, you'll still feel depleted. Vitamin D is fat soluble, which means you need dietary fat to absorb it efficiently. That's why taking it with a meal that includes healthy fats like avocado, olive oil, or nuts can dramatically improve absorption. And sunlight remains the most natural source of vitamin D, though for many of us it's not enough due to lifestyle or climate. Ideally, you want to maintain blood levels between 40 and 60 nanograms per milliliter for optimal muscle function and general health. As for vitamin K2, most people don't get nearly enough from their diet. The richest sources are fermented foods like natto, hard cheeses, egg yolks, and grass-fed butter. If you're not eating those regularly, a supplement can help. Just make sure it's in the MK7 form, which has a longer half-life and stays active in your body for up to 72 hours. Pairing K2 with D3 not only ensures proper mineral distribution, but also prevents the potential side effects of long-term vitamin D supplementation, such as calcification in soft tissues. Imagine this: you wake up after a tough workout, and instead of feeling sore and stiff, you feel light, energized, and strong. Your muscles don't ache, your recovery time is shorter, and you actually look forward to your next workout because your body feels like it's responding again. That's what happens when you address the root cause of poor recovery. micronutrient imbalance. When your vitamin D and K2 levels are optimal, your magnesium and calcium metabolism follow suit naturally, and the repair process becomes faster and more efficient. For older adults, this becomes even more critical. As we age, our ability to synthesize vitamin D from sunlight decreases, our digestive absorption slows, and muscle loss accelerates. This condition, called sarcopenia, can start as early as your 40s. The good news is that research shows vitamin D supplementation can significantly increase muscle strength, especially in people who are deficient. And when you add vitamin K2 into the mix, you not only support muscle, but also protect your heart, bones, and joints from degeneration. It's one of those rare nutritional combinations that benefits the entire body systemically. Let's look at this from a performance perspective too. Whether you're a gym goer, runner, or just someone trying to stay active, your muscle fibers rely on a balance of calcium and magnesium for contraction and relaxation. Vitamin D improves calcium handling inside the muscle cell, while K2 ensures that calcium doesn't accumulate where it shouldn't. Together, they optimize the electrical signaling in your muscles, meaning smoother, more powerful contractions and less fatigue. That's why some athletes who tune these vitamins report higher endurance and better coordination. There's also a fascinating link between these vitamins and protein utilization. Protein synthesis doesn't just depend on amino acids. It depends on the presence of certain cofactors that allow those amino acids to be converted into muscle tissue. Vitamin D stimulates muscle cells to increase their uptake of amino acids, while K2 supports the enzymes involved in that synthesis process. So, when you get enough of both, the protein you eat actually gets used more efficiently instead of being wasted. I know some people might be thinking, can't I just take a magnesium supplement and cover all bases? The truth is, magnesium supports over 300 biochemical reactions, but it cannot replace what these vitamins do. In fact, many magnesium-dependent enzymes also require vitamin D to activate properly. And here's the kicker. Without enough vitamin D, your body actually excretes magnesium faster through the kidneys. So even if you're taking magnesium daily, you might be flushing it away simply because the vitamins that help retain it are missing, instead of chasing supplement after supplement. The smarter approach is synergy, understanding how nutrients work together. That's the secret to real, lasting recovery. Vitamin D3 activates growth pathways, K2 directs minerals and maintains flexibility, and magnesium supports the energy systems that power every movement. But those first two, the vitamins, are the key that unlocks the whole process. Here's something else to think about. When your muscles recover better, your metabolism improves too. Muscle tissue is metabolically active. It burns calories even at rest. That means by supporting your muscle health with the right nutrients, you're not just building strength, you're also supporting weight management, hormonal balance, and longevity. People with higher muscle mass tend to have lower inflammation, better glucose control, and slower aging markers. And all of that starts with giving your body the vitamins that activate its repair mechanisms. If you've ever noticed that your muscles take longer to recover than they used to, or that you feel drained after even light activity, that's your body signaling that its repair system needs support. The soreness, stiffness, and fatigue aren't just from age. They're often from nutrient depletion. Correcting those levels is like turning the lights back on in your cells. Everything starts working again, and you feel the difference, not just in your muscles, but in your overall energy, your sleep, and even your mood. The next time you think about muscle recovery, don't just reach for magnesium or another protein shake. Think deeper. Think about what allows your body to actually use those nutrients. Vitamins D3 and K2 are the foundation of effective muscle rebuilding. And when you give your body both consistently, you'll notice that your workouts feel smoother, your recovery times shrink, and your results finally start matching your effort. And it's not about mega dosing or chasing numbers, it's about balance and consistency. A small daily dose of vitamin D3 and K2, paired with sunlight exposure, nutrient-rich foods, and hydration, can do more for your muscle strength than any short-term supplement fix. Your body doesn't need a quick boost. It needs steady, intelligent support. So if you've been struggling with muscle recovery, feeling fatigued, or wondering why your magnesium supplements aren't working as expected, the answer might be simpler than you think. Check your vitamin D levels, support them with K2, and watch how your body begins to respond. You'll start noticing more energy, better strength, and faster recovery. And that's when you realize it wasn't your workout or your age holding you back. It was just missing the right vitamins to turn everything back on. Because when you give your body the nutrients it's truly craving, it doesn't just rebuild muscle, it rebuilds you. And that's what real health feels like: strength, energy, and vitality from the inside out. Before you go, take a moment to reflect on this. Your body is always trying to heal and restore balance. These two vitamins don't force it, they allow it. And that's the secret behind why they work even better than magnesium alone. Once you bring vitamin D3 and K2 into alignment, everything else, from magnesium absorption to muscle performance, falls beautifully into place. And that's when you realize recovery isn't about doing more. It's about giving your body what it's been missing all along. And when you look deeper into how vitamin K2 enhances arterial flexibility, it becomes clear that this single function influences not just muscle recovery, but nearly every aspect of endurance, performance, and long-term vitality. Most people think of arteries simply as pipes that carry blood, but they are actually living, dynamic tissues that expand, contract, and communicate constantly with your body's metabolic systems. Their flexibility determines how efficiently oxygen and nutrients move through your system, how well waste products are cleared after exercise, and how balanced your blood pressure remains during physical activity. When arteries are flexible, blood can flow freely, delivering essential nutrients like amino acids, glucose, magnesium, and oxygen right to the muscle cells that need them most. But when arterial walls stiffen, a process often accelerated by calcium mismanagement, your body starts working harder just to maintain circulation, robbing your muscles of the oxygen they crave during recovery and endurance activities. Vitamin K2 plays a crucial role in keeping these arteries supple and responsive. It activates specific proteins, particularly matrix GLA protein, which prevents calcium from depositing in arterial walls. Instead of hardening and losing elasticity, the arteries stay pliable, capable of widening during physical exertion and contracting smoothly afterward. This ability to expand and adapt allows your heart to pump efficiently, maintaining a steady nutrient supply to working muscles and brain tissue. Every contraction and relaxation of your arteries supports your endurance potential, and K2 quietly ensures that this vital rhythm continues without obstruction. What's fascinating is that this process isn't about adding something extra. It's about restoring what your body already knows how to do when given the right nutritional signal. When arteries lose flexibility, your body compensates by increasing pressure to push blood through narrower passages, which means your heart has to work harder. Over time, this extra strain drains energy and oxygen that should be going to your muscles, leading to early fatigue and slower recovery. K2 helps prevent that by ensuring calcium stays where it belongs in bones and muscles, rather than sticking to artery walls. Imagine your circulatory system as a network of flexible hoses. When those hoses are clean and pliable, water flows smoothly. But once they start to stiffen, the flow slows, the pressure rises, and the entire system begins to deteriorate. That's exactly what happens inside the body when K2 is deficient. Athletes who maintain higher levels of vitamin K2 often notice better endurance and stamina, not because K2 directly boosts performance like caffeine or creatine, but because it optimizes the underlying system that delivers energy to muscles. Your muscles can only perform as well as your circulation allows, and K2 supports the very infrastructure of that performance. By keeping arteries flexible and reducing stiffness, it ensures every heartbeat counts. Each pulse delivering oxygen-rich blood efficiently throughout your body. This improved circulation also enhances nutrient transport during recovery. When your muscles are repairing tears from intense exercise, they depend on a continuous flow of amino acids, glucose, and minerals to rebuild tissue. Without healthy arterial flexibility, that process slows down, leading to soreness, stiffness, and delayed recovery times. One of the overlooked aspects of vitamin K2's role in arterial health is its effect on the endothelium, the delicate inner lining of your blood vessels. This lining acts as both a barrier and a communicator, sensing changes in blood flow, pressure, and nutrient needs. Vitamin K2 helps preserve endothelial integrity, preventing damage that can lead to inflammation or plaque buildup. When the endothelium is healthy, it releases nitric oxide efficiently, which is vital for vasodilation, the widening of blood vessels during exercise. Nitric oxide is what allows athletes to maintain blood flow to working muscles under stress, and when you have optimal K2 levels, your body can sustain that function more effectively. In other words, K2 indirectly supports nitric oxide activity, amplifying endurance and improving recovery efficiency after workouts. Over time, this means your heart and muscles work together more harmoniously. The improved circulation reduces oxidative stress, lowers inflammation, and enhances your body's ability to clear out lactic acid and other metabolic byproducts after exercise. You might notice less heaviness in your legs after running or less fatigue after a tough gym session because your blood vessels are better at delivering oxygen and removing waste. K2's role here is subtle but profound. It ensures your body doesn't just recover, but regenerates in a healthier, more balanced way. Another way K2 supports endurance is through its impact on red blood cell function. Healthy, flexible arteries allow red blood cells to travel smoothly through even the smallest capillaries, ensuring every muscle fiber receives oxygen evenly. Oxygen is the key ingredient for sustained energy production, especially during aerobic exercise. When you're deficient in K2, stiffened arteries and restricted blood flow make oxygen delivery uneven, forcing your muscles into anaerobic metabolism too early. That's when fatigue, cramps, and the infamous burn set in. Restoring K2 levels reverses this by promoting better oxygen utilization and smoother circulation, allowing you to push harder, recover faster, and maintain stamina over longer periods. Vitamin K2 also works synergistically with vitamin D3 in supporting cardiovascular and muscular performance. Vitamin D enhances calcium absorption, but without K2, that calcium may end up in soft tissues instead of being directed to your bones and muscles where it's needed for strength and contraction. Together, D3 and K2 form a balance that keeps your internal systems optimized for both structure and function. When your bones are strong and your arteries are elastic, your muscles can generate and sustain power with less effort. This combination also prevents the type of mineral imbalance that contributes to cramps, spasms, and muscle tightness, all of which interfere with endurance and performance. There's also a hormonal aspect to this process. K2 indirectly influences insulin sensitivity and glucose metabolism, both of which are vital for maintaining steady energy during endurance exercise. Muscles depend on a stable supply of glucose to produce ATP, the body's energy currency. When insulin signaling is efficient, glucose enters muscle cells smoothly, providing fuel for sustained movement. K2 helps improve this efficiency by supporting insulin sensitivity at the cellular level and reducing inflammation that interferes with metabolic function. The result is more stable blood sugar, consistent energy levels, and a noticeable improvement in workout performance and recovery speed. Beyond the physical performance benefits, arterial flexibility supported by K2 has a direct impact on how you feel mentally during exercise. Better circulation means more oxygen to the brain, leading to improved focus, reduced brain fog, and better mood regulation. It's not just your muscles that benefit. Your mental endurance does too. The clearer your mind feels, the more efficiently you can pace yourself, push through fatigue, and enjoy movement without exhaustion. This connection between cardiovascular flexibility and mental energy is one of the reasons people report feeling sharper and more alert after supporting their diet with adequate K2. It's worth noting that arterial stiffness isn't only a problem for older adults. It can affect younger individuals as well, especially those under high stress or eating modern diets low in fermented foods. Processed diets lack natural sources of vitamin K2, and when combined with sedentary lifestyles or excessive calcium supplementation, arterial calcification can begin surprisingly early. Once this stiffness sets in, circulation efficiency drops, setting off a cascade of issues from slower recovery to hormonal imbalance. By replenishing K2, you're essentially reversing part of that process, retraining your arteries to regain elasticity and responsiveness, much like restoring flexibility to a dried-out rubber band. In practical terms, when you start improving arterial flexibility, you begin to notice small but powerful changes. Your resting heart rate might improve. Your hands and feet stay warmer because blood flow reaches your extremities better. You recover faster from physical exertion, and you may even notice improvements in your complexion and skin tone because oxygen and nutrients are circulating more efficiently. These are subtle signs that your vascular health is improving and that your endurance potential is rising. K2 also supports the synthesis of energy at the mitochondrial level. The mitochondria in your muscle cells are like engines, converting nutrients into ATP, but those engines need clean fuel and a stable environment to perform their best. When blood flow is obstructed or uneven, mitochondria receive less oxygen, leading to inefficient energy production and early fatigue. By keeping arteries flexible and maintaining steady circulation, K2 ensures your muscles' mitochondria are well fed and oxygenated. This not only improves endurance, but also reduces the feeling of burnout that often follows intense exercise sessions. The beauty of K2's effect on the body is that it operates quietly in the background. You won't necessarily feel it working the way you might feel caffeine or electrolytes, but over time, the difference is unmistakable. Workouts that once left you drained begin to feel smoother. Recovery that once took days shortens to hours, and your stamina gradually extends. That's the result of efficient nutrient transport, healthy oxygen flow, and flexible arteries, all supported by the consistent presence of K2. This vitamin's ability to enhance arterial flexibility also supports cardiovascular resilience, meaning your heart doesn't have to overexert itself to meet the demands of exercise. The less effort your heart needs to pump blood, the more sustainable your endurance becomes. In the long run, This protects you from fatigue, cardiovascular strain, and even potential long-term heart complications. The relationship between K2 and heart performance is one of prevention as much as it is of performance enhancement. It ensures that the system responsible for fueling your activity remains efficient and adaptable. Even beyond the gym or sports, this flexibility impacts everyday life. Climbing stairs, walking long distances, carrying groceries, all these tasks rely on efficient nutrient delivery and muscular endurance. When arteries stay elastic, the oxygen and nutrients that power your daily movements flow effortlessly. It's the difference between feeling sluggish and feeling alive. For older adults especially, this can mean maintaining mobility and strength well into later years, reducing the risk of falls and muscle weakness that come with reduced circulation. What's particularly fascinating about K2 is how it supports the body's natural intelligence. Instead of forcing a specific reaction, it restores balance. By activating proteins that direct calcium and other minerals, K2 allows the body to heal itself through better organization. Arterial flexibility is simply one of the outward signs of that deeper harmony. You're not just improving a single function, you're reestablishing the natural rhythm of nutrient flow, oxygen delivery, and cellular communication that defines true endurance. This improvement also influences how efficiently your body removes waste. After a long workout, the byproducts of muscle metabolism, like carbon dioxide, lactic acid, and reactive oxygen species, must be cleared. Stiff arteries slow that clearance, allowing toxins to linger longer in the bloodstream, which contributes to fatigue and soreness. But when arteries are flexible and responsive, waste is cleared quickly, inflammation decreases, and the recovery phase shortens dramatically. That's why people with healthy vascular systems often bounce back faster, even after intense exercise or physically demanding work. Another overlooked benefit of K2, enhanced circulation, is temperature regulation. During exercise, your body needs to dissipate heat efficiently to maintain performance. Flexible arteries and capillaries expand to release heat and maintain stable body temperature, preventing overheating or excessive strain. By keeping blood vessels healthy, K2 indirectly helps regulate this thermoregulation process, allowing your body to perform under different conditions more comfortably and safely. This arterial flexibility also supports hydration on a cellular level. When blood flow improves, so does the delivery of electrolytes and fluids to muscle tissues. Hydrated muscles are less prone to cramps and more capable of sustained contraction. In other words, K2 doesn't just keep your blood vessels flexible, it helps ensure that hydration and electrolyte balance stay in check during long-duration activities, further supporting endurance and reducing the risk of strain. From a biochemical perspective, vitamin K2's ability to maintain arterial flexibility is one of the reasons it's linked to longevity. The same mechanisms that support athletic endurance also protect against age-related decline. Flexible arteries mean less cardiovascular wear, more efficient nutrient absorption, and stronger, better fed muscles. Whether you're training for a marathon or simply trying to maintain strength and vitality as you age, the foundation is the same. Keep your arteries youthful, and your muscles will follow. In today's world where stress, processed food, and environmental toxins constantly challenge the cardiovascular system, supporting arterial flexibility isn't just about performance. It's about resilience. It's about giving your body the capacity to adapt, repair, and thrive under pressure. Vitamin K2 does exactly that by ensuring calcium and other minerals serve their purpose without causing harm, by keeping circulation smooth, and by allowing your body's energy systems to operate at full efficiency. And when this internal environment improves, Every aspect of physical performance begins to elevate naturally. You move with more ease, breathe more deeply, recover more quickly, and feel more connected to your body's rhythm. That's the silent power of K2. It doesn't push you harder, it helps you flow better. It restores the flexibility your arteries need to keep up with the energy demands of life, allowing endurance to feel less like a struggle and more like a natural expression of vitality. And that's where vitamin D steps into another powerful role most people don't realize. It doesn't just help absorb calcium or strengthen bones. It actively boosts amino acid utilization inside your muscle cells, accelerating post-exercise rebuilding in a way no protein powder alone can achieve. When you finish a workout, your muscles enter a critical recovery phase, and in that window, they're like sponges waiting to soak up amino acids, the building blocks of protein. But simply having amino acids available isn't enough. Your body needs the right signals and cellular conditions to take those amino acids and transform them into new muscle tissue. Vitamin D acts as that signal. It triggers the molecular pathways that tell your muscles to begin the repair process, turning raw materials into actual strength and resilience. Inside your muscles, vitamin D interacts with specific receptors known as VDRs, vitamin D receptors, which are located directly on muscle cells. When these receptors are activated by adequate vitamin D levels, they start a cascade of events that enhances protein synthesis, the process by which your body converts amino acids into new muscle fibers. Think of vitamin D as the key that starts the engine. Without it, even if you're eating plenty of protein and taking all your supplements, the machinery inside your muscles stays in idle. That's why people with low vitamin D often experience slower muscle recovery, prolonged soreness, or even muscle wasting over time. Despite maintaining what looks like a healthy diet and exercise routine, this vitamin's influence on amino acid utilization also ties deeply into hormonal balance. Vitamin D increases the sensitivity of muscle cells to anabolic hormones like testosterone and insulin, like growth factor 1's IGF-1, both of which play crucial roles in muscle growth. When vitamin D levels are sufficient, these hormones can efficiently bind to their receptors, enhancing the uptake of amino acids and boosting their incorporation into structural muscle proteins. It's not just about having more amino acids circulating in your blood. It's about ensuring those amino acids get delivered and used where they're needed most. That's what vitamin D makes possible. One of the fascinating things about vitamin D's action is how it improves the efficiency of every step in the recovery chain. After exercise, your muscles experience tiny tears in their fibers, and the repair process requires energy, oxygen, and raw material, mainly amino acids. Vitamin D increases mitochondrial efficiency in muscle cells, meaning your body produces more energy from the same amount of fuel. This extra energy supports the synthesis of new proteins and accelerates the remodeling process of damaged tissue. The result is quicker repair, less soreness, and greater adaptation to training. Over time, this leads to stronger, denser, more functional muscles that recover faster and perform better. There's also an immune component to how vitamin D influences amino acid utilization. Intense physical activity triggers a temporary inflammatory response, which can hinder protein synthesis if left unchecked. Vitamin D modulates that inflammation by calming down excessive immune activation, allowing amino acids to be used for repair rather than diverted to managing inflammation. This balance between repair and recovery is delicate, and vitamin D ensures your body stays on the side of growth, not breakdown. That's why adequate vitamin D levels are linked not only to better muscle recovery, but also to fewer injuries, faster wound healing, and improved training consistency over time. On a biochemical level, vitamin D regulates several genes directly involved in muscle protein synthesis. It increases the expression of transport proteins responsible for bringing amino acids into cells and boosts the enzymes that link those amino acids together into longer protein chains. The more efficiently your body can transport and assemble these building blocks, the faster you recover from exercise-induced stress. This gene, level control, gives vitamin D an almost supervisory role in muscle repair. It oversees how effectively the materials are gathered, how quickly the construction begins, and how well the final structure holds up under pressure. What's also remarkable is how vitamin D affects the quality of muscle that gets rebuilt. It promotes the development of type Tapoi-fast twitch fibers, which are responsible for strength, power, and quick movements. These fibers rely heavily on efficient amino acid utilization for rapid recovery. When vitamin D is low, your body struggles to maintain these fibers, leading to weakness, slower reflexes, and reduced explosiveness during workouts. Athletes and active individuals who optimize their vitamin D levels often notice not just better endurance, but more strength, faster muscle response, and greater agility, all outcomes that depend on enhanced amino acid turnover. Now think about this in the context of age. As we get older, the body's ability to use amino acids for muscle repair naturally declines, a phenomenon known as anabolic resistance. Vitamin D can help counteract that. Studies show that older adults with higher vitamin D levels maintain better muscle mass and respond more effectively to protein intake compared to those who are deficient. In other words, vitamin D helps restore the muscle's youthful responsiveness to amino acids. This is why older individuals who combine resistance training with proper vitamin D support often experience dramatic improvements in strength, balance, and energy. It's not magic. It's physiology optimized through the right nutrient signals. Another layer to this story involves magnesium again, because magnesium activates the enzymes responsible for converting vitamin D into its active form. When both nutrients are in balance, amino acid utilization reaches its peak. Vitamin D stimulates protein synthesis, while magnesium supports ATP production, providing the energy needed for that synthesis to occur. Together, they form the biochemical foundation for rebuilding muscle tissue effectively. If one is missing, the process slows down or becomes inefficient. That's why so many people who focus only on one nutrient miss out on the full potential of recovery. Vitamin D also enhances muscle glycogen storage, which may not seem directly related to amino acids, but plays a supporting role. Glycogen is your muscle's primary energy source, and when levels are replenished efficiently, the body spares amino acids from being used as fuel. That means more amino acids are available for rebuilding rather than energy production. This energy sparing effect allows for quicker recovery and more sustained performance in subsequent workouts. When you think of it this way, vitamin D doesn't just help build muscle, it preserves the raw materials your muscles need to rebuild themselves by improving overall energy management. Another interesting aspect is how vitamin D influences blood flow during the recovery phase. It supports nitric oxide synthesis, improving vasodilation and circulation. This enhanced blood flow allows amino acids, glucose, and oxygen to reach muscle cells more efficiently, making the rebuilding process faster and more effective. Better circulation also helps remove waste products like lactic acid, reducing post-exercise stiffness. When your body can deliver nutrients quickly and clear waste efficiently, muscle repair happens almost seamlessly, and vitamin D is a key player in maintaining that balance. From a metabolic standpoint, vitamin D enhances insulin sensitivity, which directly impacts how well your muscles absorb amino acids and glucose. Insulin acts like a gatekeeper, allowing these nutrients into muscle cells. When insulin sensitivity is high, nutrient delivery is efficient, and protein synthesis accelerates. Vitamin D helps maintain that sensitivity, ensuring that after your workout, your muscles are primed to receive and use the nutrients you feed them. This makes post-workout meals more effective, turning what you eat into usable muscle tissue rather than excess energy stored elsewhere. It's also worth mentioning how vitamin D's role in mood and motivation connects to this process. Recovery isn't just physical, it's mental. When vitamin D supports serotonin and dopamine regulation in the brain, you feel more motivated to stay consistent with training, sleep better, and maintain a positive mindset, all of which contribute to better recovery outcomes. Your body heals faster when stress hormones are lower, and vitamin D helps modulate cortisol levels, keeping your nervous system calm and allowing anabolic processes like protein synthesis to dominate during rest. When you begin to correct a vitamin D deficiency, the effects on amino acid utilization often become visible within weeks. You might notice less post-workout soreness, better tone, and a more responsive feeling in your muscles. Recovery days feel more restorative instead of dragging on, and you may find that your strength sessions start yielding noticeable results again. This isn't just placebo. It's your muscle physiology working the way it's meant to, fueled by a nutrient that supports both the hormonal and cellular machinery of recovery. Even for people who aren't athletes, this process matters. Daily life constantly breaks down muscle tissue through small stresses. Carrying groceries, walking, climbing stairs. The faster your body rebuilds that tissue, the healthier and stronger you remain over time. Vitamin D ensures that every bit of protein you eat and every amino acid your body produces goes toward maintaining muscle integrity rather than being wasted. That's why individuals with optimal vitamin D levels tend to maintain lean mass better, even without intense exercise. It's a quiet but powerful guardian of muscle health. For those engaging in regular training, combining vitamin D with adequate protein intake creates a synergistic effect that amplifies results. You can think of protein as the raw material, while vitamin D acts as the foreman directing how it's used. Without that leadership, materials pile up unused and the repair site becomes inefficient. With it, every nutrient is put to work in a precise and purposeful way, transforming your effort into visible progress. This coordination between diet, movement, and micronutrient support is what makes training sustainable over the long term. Another often overlooked benefit of vitamin D in amino acid utilization is its impact on recovery sleep. Deep, restorative sleep is when most protein synthesis occurs, and vitamin D contributes to better sleep regulation through its influence on melatonin production. When your sleep improves, your growth and repair processes follow suit. That means your muscles continue rebuilding efficiently even while you rest, turning every night into a powerful recovery window. Vitamin D's involvement in reducing oxidative stress further enhances this entire process. Exercise generates free radicals, which can damage muscle tissue if not neutralized. Vitamin D strengthens the antioxidant defense system, allowing more amino acids to go toward building rather than repairing oxidative damage. This means your muscles spend less time fixing what's broken and more time constructing new, stronger fibers. Over weeks and months, this translates into visible muscle definition, endurance improvements, and greater physical resilience. Even hydration status connects indirectly to vitamin D's effects. Proper fluid balance ensures amino acids and nutrients can move freely through the bloodstream to reach muscles, and vitamin D helps regulate the function of electrolytes like sodium and potassium, which are critical for maintaining that balance. When hydration and nutrient transport are optimal, Every element of recovery operates in sync, from energy restoration to tissue repair. For people living in regions with limited sunlight or spending much of their time indoors, maintaining adequate vitamin D levels becomes even more important. Deficiency is common, and its impact on muscle recovery is often misattributed to age, overtraining, or diet. Supplementing with vitamin D3, particularly when combined with healthy fats and magnesium, can make a dramatic difference in how your body utilizes amino acids and rebuilds after stress. It's not about taking excessive doses, it's about maintaining balance, so the recovery systems can function as nature intended. This also explains why some people experience sudden progress plateaus despite consistent effort. They're training hard, eating well, sleeping enough, but their body isn't efficiently converting protein into muscle. The missing link is often vitamin D, the subtle yet essential catalyst that keeps the rebuilding process running. When levels rise back into the optimal range, everything starts moving again, strength increases, recovery improves, and energy feels more stable. In essence, vitamin D doesn't just help your body absorb nutrients. It teaches your muscles how to use them effectively. It transforms passive intake into active regeneration, bridging the gap between what you feed your body and how your body rebuilds itself. By enhancing amino acid utilization, it ensures that every bit of effort you invest in movement, every gram of protein you consume, and every moment of rest you take contributes meaningfully to growth and renewal. It's one of the quiet but indispensable elements of true recovery, the kind that builds lasting strength from the inside out.